Well, we've all were running bookstores, and that was proving difficult, where people were generally coming into your store and they were excited about being in a bookstore, and then as they were ready to buy the book, they were kind of like, oh no, I can get this cheaper on Amazon, and they would put the book away. And so it seemed we sort of realized that people wanted bookstores as a place to be, less than as a place to buy books. And so we thought, well, maybe we could make a business out of that wouldn't make them feel guilty about not wanting to actually buy the books. Mm-hmm. And we still wanted to have books and sell books. So any idea is a risky idea, but we thought it would work. We're still hoping it'll work. I had been running a bookstore that my dad started in the 1950s down near Boston, which we sold. I had some health problems, and the family decided to sell it because it was getting really frustrating, and we were sort of all fighting over what to do about it. And so I sold that, and I was sort of finding out that I didn't have any skills for any other jobs besides bookstores. And we had all been involved in a place in Western Mass called the Montague Book Mill, which I had helped start when I was in college. And Dave and John, my other two partners, had run for about 20 years. And as part of that, it was that Dave had helped start a restaurant in that, and then sold the restaurant to someone else, and they brought in beer, so he sort of watched them, after they brought in beer, start to be very successful. So, we thought, well, this time we won't make that mistake of giving the profitable part away.
So is that how you know them is that how you met them?
Yeah.
And then just went into...
Yeah, I mean, we've been friends for probably 25 years. Oh. The idea is, I think the idea of community has always been very important to me in public space. I spent about 10 years on the board of directors of a nonprofit folk club in Cambridge called Club Passim. And that was always like something we spent a lot of time thinking about. How can we make this place inclusive of everybody? And, and that's definitely, you've got to, if you have a bookstore, it's hard to get people to buy books. So you've got to try to figure out how you can make everybody feel welcome. We're all friends. There's only one other person who works on the books, and that's Tanya, who's actually, I think, a UNH student. And Tanya's a great story for students to know, because Tanya came in and was like, can I help you put the books away before we open? So when we needed someone, she was obviously the person to hire. And we have about 5 or 6 baristas and cooks. So in the book mill, and John, the third partner, he started 2 stores in Boston called the Raven, one in Harvard Square and one in Newbury Street. He's actually about 2 blocks from where the bomb at the Boston Marathon went off yesterday. Yeah, John, because he has 2 kids and 2 bookstores, only works 1 day a week, and then Dave and I sort of split up. Then Tanya split up the rest of the time.
Okay, I'm Amy. I'm the head chef here at the Portsmouth Book&Bar. I moved from Austin. One of the owners of this bookstore is one of my oldest friends, and I came here because they were looking for someone to run the kitchen part of the business, although the other 3 owners have all owned bookstores, as John probably told you. I was consulting on the menu, and I came out and hired people, and that just sort of evolved over it's been a year now, and so I moved out here in September, and we try to do local, fresh, light food. Now that the growing season is underway, I'm going to try to utilize more organic produce and meet more of the local people and the farmers. We have interesting cheeses and things in town that aren't really offered other places in terms of soups and sandwiches and salads. So it's a little different, but we want to keep the price point low since it is a used bookstore, but we have nice wines and craft beers as well. I think the community's really embraced us. We have a lot of regulars. We have people that are thrilled that something is being done with this building because it had been vacant for so long. And what they did to the building is phenomenal. The way they restored it to the, the ceilings were taken out. We gutted it, and I didn't, but they did. And they've just made it a beautiful space, comfortable. People come here in the winter on snowy nights. They come here on bright sunny days. They curl up on couches. They read to their children. We're trying to encourage the culture of books. Not that laptops aren't welcome. Obviously, everybody uses that kind of technology, but we find that more people are willing to pick up books and read them, and that's great. We love seeing that. And we have already a lot of regulars, and we haven't advertised, so it's all word of mouth, and people just come in because they're curious. Sometimes they think it's a library. They don't know the books are for sale, but they are, and they're all used or considered used because we get them from publishers and buy private collections, so everything is 50 to 70% off what you'd pay at Barnes & Noble or one of the other major bookstores for new books as well. So the community is, I think, the feedback has been positive.
Thank you. Yeah, let me go to the bathroom first.
No, it's not going to be cheap, but it might be worth it. So it's George has it. It's not going to be able to.
No, I'm actually from Copenhagen, Denmark, but I live in the United States, and I find that it's like going to like a cafe where they might also have wine. It doesn't really happen, but it does here, so I love it, and it's just so pretty and gorgeous, and you can sit here and like study and have a glass of wine at night.
That would make it more interesting. Yeah.
Sold it, and then I wrote a book that came out on Penguin, and then I started working on another book that I figured I needed to get a job. Got to the coast anyway, and I know Portsmouth well, and I always liked Portsmouth, so yeah, I'm excited to be here. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I guess I want to create a scene that has varying things for various different demographics, so that, you know, we have rock and roll music. I want to do films here. I want to show films next winter. I want to do all kinds of stuff, and I wanted to appeal to a broad range of people. And we're basically working on ways to keep bookstores, you know, alive, and also, you know, vital to the community. So I think it can be a gathering place for all kinds of people, you know. So that's. And we looked in Portland, we looked in Boston, we looked in Newburyport, we looked all over, and we kept circling back to this building. But this building was pretty scary because it needed so much work, you know, this space. There really wasn't anything here. It was just a, you know, series of offices. So it took a lot of work. But it was fun, you know. I had a good time doing it. I mean, I did a lot of the work. Yeah, I was here every day. You know, I had some friends from town help, and I got a lot of help from old friends of mine. One of them, my oldest friend's an architect, and his wife's an interior designer. So, you know, they did the design work. So. Okay, my name is David Lovelace. I'm one of the 3 owners of the Book&Bar, and I'm the manager, for better or for worse.
Are those the pipes?
Here in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, we have a lovely side street.